This is the second stage of the design process at Bettinardi. The first being the idea that Bob has in his head about what he wants to see for the putter. It's then our job to take his ideas, his drawing, his sketches, and bring it into our design software to try to capture the essence of whatever the new design that he wants to create. Using the design software, we can control all the parameters of the design, from physical properties to aesthetic looks. So we do a lot of work right here in the computer to make sure that the performance of the head, the weighting, the center of gravity, in some cases the MOI, are all at acceptable levels before we'll ever even take this design and bring it out to the shop floor. When we're done doing our work in the design software, these models are typically somewhere about 99% exact to what we will be machining out in the shop floor. 22,000 square feet of manufacturing facility. We've got 23 CNC milling centers, and we use all of them in the creation of our putters that we create. They start off this way. It's 12-foot long bars of random different grade material, from carbon steel, stainless steel, solid copper, aluminum. We bring these things in, we'll chop them down to the appropriate sizes, and we get them out to the machine for manufacture. We're using a 303 stainless steel forging blank as the raw material for this putter. This forging weighs roughly just about 5 pounds. And when we get through with it, we're gonna end up with a putter that roughly weighs about a ½ pound. So we've got about 4.5 pounds worth of excess material that we're gonna be removing in this process. We take this forging and we load it into our machine, and you'll see different stages in the process of the milling. The first phase is just an orientation pass, where we were able to true up this forging and get a flat surface. That forging then comes over into these cradles, which about 80% of the milling actually happens for the putter. We'll actually go through with all the different tools, using some advanced G-code, and actually mill away the putter from the block of steel. From then it moves over to this third op, where we actually go around the neck a little bit, and we do where the hosel and where the shaft will be inserted. Again, tolerancing is of the highest issue here to make sure that this putter is absolutely perfect. From then, it'll move to the other table. We'll actually put the putter face up, and this is where we actually put on our patented honeycomb face finish to the putter. And this is the technique, the process in which we can control the flatness of the face to 1/1000th of an inch. The preconceived notion about CNC mill putters is that it's somewhat of a cookie cutter operation. The fact that you can hit a button and all of a sudden just a tremendous amount of putters will start coming out of the machine. That's anything but the truth. In the process that we employ, it can take anywhere up to 6 operations for my operator to actually go from a forging blank, a raw forging blank, to an actual finished head. So the yield on a machine like this is surprisingly pretty small. But again, we use this process to make sure that the quality is unsurpassed and that we can control every step of the way. Every set of hands, every operator, every employee that has a part in creating this product has a quality standard that he has to adhere to. So in the milling, we're really going to be looking at dimensional data, such as thicknesses, weights, finishes of the product, before we'll allow it to meet the quality standards and then go to the next process. The next process will be engraving. That operator has a stringent line of quality data that he needs to maintain before he can then allow it to go to the next, which would be the finishing process. And so on and so forth, as it goes through about 8 different steps, all the way to the completion and assembly of the product. So it's really all of our responsibilities as being an employee at Bettinardi Golf to make sure that the protocol that we have in place is executed to make sure that our product is absolutely perfect, 0 defects. And again, along the way, it's true manufacturing. We like to say that we're, perfect, but we're not. And I mean, even the red bins that you'll see around the shop, these are parts that don't meet the quality standard, and they're automatically, as soon as they're identified as not meeting our quality standard, they're destroyed. We're doing all the artwork, the engraving on our putters. So the putters will come to these stations probably about 95% completed. And these machines will actually apply all the engraving to the sole as well as add sight lines. Again, another integral part but we'll go into the machine and we'll generate the engraving file, the design that we would like to put onto the putter, and this is the machine that will actually apply it. This is our Country Club Series putter for 2011. Again, discussing the engraving potential that we have. One of our programs this year is to allow country clubs to be able to order putters and be able to put whatever engraving they want to on the sole of the putter. Is paint fill. And pretty much to follow suit with the rest of the whole process that we do, everything is done by hand. So all the paint that's applied to this putter head is all done by hand, hand wiped, hand applied. It's the finishing touch to really make our putters aesthetically pleasing and really pop.